Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday evening, the Honourable Member for Leicester South, in his point of order, repeated claims made by Healthcare Environmental Services regarding incineration capacity. And the Right Honourable Member for Normanton, Pontefract and Castleford raised a point of order on the capability of Mighty to deliver waste management services for the NHS and TUPE arrangements for staff employed by Healthcare Environmental Services. I'd like to clarify why the statement that there is sufficient incinerator capacity is correct, and why the claims made by the company, which is currently subject to criminal investigation, should not be taken at face value, as appears to have been the case yesterday. With regard to incinerator capacity, there have been quotes from Environmental Agency and NHSI officials cited in the Health Service Journal in May and August 2018 that there is a shortage of clinical waste incinerator capacity. By the time of my statement on 9th October, far more due diligence had been conducted on the claims made by Healthcare Environmental Services. Analysis carried out by NHSI identified 2,269 tonnes of incinerator capacity in October. The trust served by Healthcare Environmental Services produced 595 tonnes. The analysis shows there is sufficient incinerator capacity for clinical waste, and that the statement made to the House was therefore correct. The issue is whether HES are willing to pay for that capacity. The fact that Mighty has secured 1,000 tonnes of incinerator capacity demonstrates that it is available. Mr. Speaker, my right honourable friend questioned whether Mighty was capable of delivering waste management for the NHS. The Mighty contract was put in place rapidly on the 5th of October to ensure continuity of service, followed trusts exercising their step-in and then termination rights to end their contracts with Healthcare Environmental Services. Over that weekend, Mighty visited the NHS sites to understand their business needs and the frequency of collections required, and responded immediately to trusts where waste needed to be collected. They also located bins on the site so that the collections could start. By putting in place a new contract so quickly, there clearly needs to be a phased approach to Mighty providing 100% of the previous service provided by Healthcare Environmental Services. Mighty is working closely with NHSI to ensure that the needs of the trusts are being met and regular collection schedules are in place at sufficient levels to maintain all patient services safely. The trusts also have additional contingency storage in place on site, with the waste being collected correctly stored so that the NHS can maintain its services. This storage contingency will remain in place until Mighty meet 100% of the waste collection frequency required by these trusts. There is no risk to public safety by the action taken by the trusts. With respect to TUPE, Mr. Speaker, Mighty has written to Healthcare Environmental Services and its legal representatives to request complete information in order to assess the situation with respect to potential transferring employees and to minimise disruption for those employees. Mighty has also set up a dedicated helpline and email address to support Healthcare Environmental Services staff at this uncertain time. So in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, it continues to be the case that there is no risk to public safety by the action taken by these trusts, and that all NH trusts have been able to continue to provide operations as met our key objective.